The inside there, Seewer and Coldenhoff, and no guesses as to who made the whole shot though. Number 61, Jorge Prado, tucked to the inside, and the triple jump yesterday, just after the finish line, was a lot less takeoff on it, and obviously as we go on board here with Geiser, he was buried in around about sort of 6th or 7th position, but it was Prado who led. Seewer was second. Coldenhoff got the better of the fast-starting 151 of heroically. The two Yamaha riders tripled their way in, but it was Coldenhoff who emerged in second place. Seewer third, Febvre in fourth. That was how it was on the opening lap, with Vlaanderen in 5th place. Geiser, good start in 6th, but he would eventually finish in 10th position. No surprises there, though, given the intensity and the physicality of this racetrack here this weekend, using it all as a building experience for next year. Seewer under attack from Febvre. He went right, Febvre went left, outsmarted the number 91 to move into 3rd. That was on lap 2. Alberto Forato out of 11th, deciding not to join the local gymnastics club. Forward rolls not up to the scratch, but around the outside of Seewer was the number 10 of Calvin Vlaanderen. He moved into 4th with that pass. All eyes on the battle between Prado, Coldenhoff and Febvre as they jostled for the lead. Every time Febvre got close, he would make a little mistake and then fall back, but then it was Prado who came under attack. Tried to go outside to outsmart Coldenhoff. He then went to the inside. This was with 4 laps to go on lap 9. That was the challenge for the lead. Seewer then on the inside of Vlaanderen to move back into 4th. And then with 3 laps to go, Febvre just lost the front. Back came around and he was out of 2nd. Picked himself up in 3rd, but then under pressure from Seewer, who on the final lap made this pass. But next corner, guess what? He went down. Prado couldn't avoid him. He crashed. They both crashed. Prado picked himself up though just ahead of Seewer, but with 3 corners to go, the Yamaha man regained that 4th position. Prado would cross the line in 5th, but for the first time this year, Glenn Coldenhoff, the winner of the Ram qualifying race from Romain Febvre and Calvin Vlaanderen. That's how it panned out yesterday. Here's how the championship looks then. At the start of the day, yesterday, before the Ram qualifying race, Jorge Prado was 104 points clear of Romain Febvre. He's now 101 clear after that qualifying race. Seewer 47 behind the Frenchman, with Fernandez 16 behind Seewer. 18 adrift in 5th is the Hoff. Then we've got Vlaanderen, Herlings and Forato. Herlings made an appearance here last night. Giuseppe Luongo celebrating 40 years of promotion of motocross sports, MXGP, and all the other things that he did as well in the early years from the 1980s. Here's how the riders line up then ahead of MXGP Race 1. The Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders. Glenn Coldenhoff on pole for the first time this year, and for the first time since he won the qualifying race in Spain last year. Romain Febvre goes to line 2nd, ahead of Calvin Vlaanderen, Jeremy Seewer, Jorge Prado, Brian Bogers. Good to see 2 standing construct Hondas in there in 6th place with Bogers and 8th place with Van Horebeek. Splitting them, the HRC rider of Ruben Fernandez in 7th. Max Spies, great qualifying for him in 9th, ahead of Tim Geiser, Ben Watson, Harry Koulas, Mitch Evans, Kevin Brumman, Alvin Osland, Tom Cock, and the rest. Glenn Coldenhoff on pole for the first time this year. Can he turn that into a race win or even a Grand Prix victory come the end of the day? Monster Energy Yamahas this weekend in white livery, celebrating 50 years of the YZ. The colour scheme dating back to 1993 this weekend, though. Jorge Prado has 101 points over Romain Febvre. David Carli said this morning that he struggled yesterday with the track. Yes, he can ride the sand, but it was just a little heavy. But he said hopefully he gets a good start as well, so maybe can turn that around. Jeremy Seewer going through his focus. Up and down race for him, but he still managed 4th. That's a decent gate pick. And Romain Febvre pegging a couple of points back to his closest rival. It's still more than 100 points, but it's still points gained all the same. 189, Brian Bogers, 6th in the Ram qualifying race. the standing construct Honda rider, was victorious here last year. Will that qualifying result kickstart a return to the podium? Calvin Vlaanderen, right place, right time, as he picked up a race win in the Czech Republic a week ago in race 2. He was third in the qualifying race yesterday. Will he be challenging for the top step here, round 13? By racing 15-second board up for the first time this weekend then. 30 minutes plus 2, race 1 for MXGP, the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders. Who's it going to be that grabs that all-important foxhole shot then? 5-second board about to turn. Coldenhoff steadies himself, gets ready for the gate drop. And again, it's Prado. But up the inside, Seewer around the outside. Harry Koulas once again, 151. But it's Seewer, I think, who grabbed that foxhole shot, and Prado buried in about 7th place behind Geiser. 9 foxhole shots then for Seaweed. His teammate Coldenhoff right there behind him. A Yamaha 1-2. Febvre up the inside of Koulas to move into 3rd. Vlaanderen in 5th position. Good start for CV10 as he looks. Oh, and he just messes up, and then was that Geiser, or I think Geiser just messed up on the exit of the turn. And he's hurt himself as well. Hurt his hand in that crash. Geiser out of 5th place. Meanwhile, up front, Seewer taking a little while to settle, and that allows Febvre to get alongside the number 91 and into 2nd position. Does not need a second invite. These two finding themselves for most of the race in the qualifier, and they are locked together again in the early stages of race 1. Coldenhoff leads. Febvre 2nd, Seewer 3rd, Vlaanderen 4th. Koulas in 5th place. Fernandez is in 6th, Prado 7, Van Horebeek 8. 9, Max Speed, 10, Watson. 11, Bogus, 12, Forato, 13, Mitch Evans. And then we've got Petrov, Van Berkel, Osland, Havisto, Tom Koch, Kevin Brumman, and Albin Gerhardsen. Geiser in 27th place after that fall from 5th on the opening lap. Glenn Coldenhoff already 2.3 seconds clear. Obviously getting a good feeling with this. Prado down the inside of Koulas there. Takes over 5th position. In fact, it was Prado on Fernandez, wasn't it? For 6th. First lap in the books then. 2:06.6 for Coldenhoff. 2.9 seconds clear on this opening lap. Does not want to allow the number 3 Romain Febvre even a sniff, even a look in. Then you cast your mind back to Riola Sada in Sardinia, race round 2 of the championship. Coldenhoff was trying to manage the race, and he tightened up as a result of that. Didn't have his flow. Race 2 came out swinging, just threw everything at it, every lap as fast as he could go, and he came away with a race win. I wonder if that is the psychology behind this early start for the Hoff. Febvre splits the 2 Yamaha riders. Here's Calvin Vlaanderen. He's in 4th position at the moment. And then we've got Prado there in 5th. Koulas in 6th position. Under attack from Fernandez. The Spaniard goes by. Fernandez now up in the 6th position. Good start though for Harry Koulas on the Crescent Cap Screens Yamaha wildcarding this weekend. Van Horebeek next in 8th place. Forato 9, SM Action. Uasa Battery. And then Spies, number 71. for KTM Cossack. So Jorge Prado, in terms of the championship fight, with Febvre in second, he'll be picking up 22 points. Prado would be picking up 16 points. Championship is not over yet, is it? Here's what happened at the start. Let's see who grabbed the foxhole shot. Both the Yamahas down the inside. Well, three of them if you include Vlaanderen, but it was Jeremy Seewer who kept it nice and tight. And it was Seewer who crossed the line first. He now ties Jorge Prado with 9 for the season. He's 2.5 seconds behind Romain Febvre. Is he building into this race? And will he throw something at the Frenchman a little later on? Well, fighting his front end through there, though. Turn 7. This is turn 8. Down the back straight, though, for Hoff. Coldenhoff. And he is being caught now by Romain Febvre. 2:08.4, 2:07.6. The gap, 1.6 seconds. Next split is coming up around the corner just by the Monster Energy jump any moment now-ish. And for Coldenhoff, 35.3 and a 35.1. Another 2/10 pulled back by the Kawasaki rider, who gets better distance and better drive out of that liquid moly turn. Romain Febvre does have form around here, don't forget. And he's gaining all the time. Coldenhoff all of a sudden under attack here. But we are working our way towards the end of lap 3. Coldenhoff on the white Monster Energy Yamaha this weekend. Nothing in it between him and Febvre, who spins up, loses momentum coming out of that turn. Hands a lifeline to Coldenhoff for now. And despite that error, Febvre still 0.6 quicker that time around. Top 3 riders in, 2:08 and a mistake. Coldenhoff goes straight on. The door left open. Febvre, your new leader at the start of lap 4. Momentary lapse in concentration, perhaps, for Coldenhoff. Missed his marker, forced himself wide. Coldenhoff then couldn't do anything about it. And Febvre snuck up the inside. Watch this here. Just gets pushed wide there over the berm. Couldn't turn until he was settled. Febvre was close enough to react to take over the lead. Halfway round lap 4 then. Febvre now 1.6 seconds clear of Glenn Coldenhoff, who has about 2 seconds over his teammate Jeremy Seewer. 4th is Vlaanderen, 5th Prado, 6th Fernandez, 7 Van Horebeek, 8 is Spies, 9 Kulas, 10 Forato. Coldenhoff not giving up the fight just yet though, is he? Through this tough right-hander, the wave section, turn 16 goes on and on forever, tightens up in different moments. So you're on the gas, off the grass, turning, leaning up on the pegs, fight in the front, fight in the back. So much happening through that part of the racetrack. And Febvre will lead over the line for the first time at the end of lap 4. These three already 8.5 seconds clear of Vlaanderen, who put his fastest lap in last time around, a 2:11.1. It was 2:08 for the top 3 last time around. It's a 2:10, 2:13, and a 2:11 for Febvre, Coldenhoff, Seewer, respectively, that time around on lap 4. Prado, 2 seconds behind Vlaanderen, matching the lap times of the Dutchman. And he's got a bit of breathing space as well, because Fernandez 7 seconds behind his fellow countryman. Put the flag out now. Romain Febvre, all of a sudden 92 points clear, 92 points behind. Anyway, Lisa Leyland down in pit lane. I believe she's got Montreal's Yamaha boss, Louis Posters, down there. See what he has to say.
Louis Posters, we saw Glenn Coldenhoff leading the way. Made a little bit of a mistake. Febvre's through now, but Glenn is not giving up that fight, is he?
No, actually, Glenn really likes the sand, a heavy sand track like here. And yeah, he made a small mistake, but he's still putting some pressure, so he's doing really well.
And also Jeremy Seewer, we saw him take his 9th Foxhole start of the season. Good yesterday, strong today. How's he panning out? Yeah,
it was really great. All the time his starts are really good, and yeah, he's still in the top 3, putting some pressure as well. So guys are doing great.
Best of luck to the team. Thanks, Louis.
Pretty much even Stevens between the first 3 riders then, all separated by about 2 seconds each. But it's Febvre who continues to lead on lap 5. Vlaanderen now has 3 seconds over Jorge Prado. And another thing that David Ducali said when I spoke to him during the break before MX2 race 1 was, said it's a strange feeling for Prado because he has more than 100 points, doesn't know whether to push, to attack, because he doesn't have to, because he has that big gap. Well, at the moment, sitting there in 5th place, 14 seconds off the lead, 3 seconds off of Vlaanderen. Yes, he will lose a chunk of that points lead, but he is still the leader by more than 90 points. Second rider in shot there, the number 71. Good to see Max Spies pushing hard here on that KTM Cossack machine. The rider ahead of him, Jeremy Van Horebeek, on the standing construct Honda. What a career he's had. He rode his first ever Grand Prix back in 2007 at Namur in the south of the country. Hasn't missed a Grand Prix since. Even during the COVID pandemic in 2020, he managed to put 3 Grand Prix together. This is his 19th home Grand Prix, whether it's Grand Prix of Belgium, Flanders, Limburg, wherever. Jeremy Seewer, and just filling in for the injured Paul Jonas, who's here this weekend, watching his new teammate riding around in 7th place. And this could possibly be the last Grand Prix at home for Van Horebeek. He'll bow out in a week's time in Finland, having started, if he makes it to the start, 255 Grand Prix starts. 254 today, though. Jorge Prado, Red Bull Gas, just minding his own business. Had 1 or 2 issues a week ago in Lockett, but he still managed to come away from there 2nd overall. Loves the sand, but just happy to pick up points, it seems, in this race. But there are still 17 minutes plus 2 laps to go. There may be a turn of speed later on. He may be relying on Vlaanderen to get tired, possibly. Who knows? Or mistakes from the other guys ahead of him. But doesn't need to be absolutely full chat. Pulling the cable right back. Vlaanderen now up in the 3rd. Seewer 4th. A mistake for Seewer. So the Gerben van den Rooij Yamaha rider then. Massive wide line. Back onto the start straight. Making his move on Jeremy Seewer. Likes deep, heavy sand. But another rider who said it was tough yesterday, tough today. Going to be a hard slog. All 3 riders getting over that 30-meter triple after the finish line jump. Not easy to nail that jump as well, because as the race goes on, those ruts get longer, get deeper. But good showing this from Calvin Vlaanderen. Wonder what the issue there was between him and Seewer. Seewer doesn't look like he's been down, so maybe just ran wide, maybe just messed up in the waves. Either way, it's cost him a position. Got all that work to do again then, just to get himself back into third. Prado is chipping away though, isn't he, in that 5th place? So just building himself into the circuit conditions. Possibly saving a little bit for race 2 later on, because it is going to be a physical test, a physical challenge here. And if the rain does come in the second half of the afternoon for both MX2 and MXGP races, then of course that will add another twist to it, another dimension. But Jeremy Seewer obviously had an issue probably on this part of the racetrack a lap ago that cost him 3rd place. But he's doing his best to rectify that. He's back on terms with the number 10 of Vlaanderen. But you know that Vlaanderen will be a tough nut to crack, a very stubborn customer. Here's Geiser. He's up into 17th place. He fell on the opening lap. But he was in 5th place just after the start. Coming out of turn 5. Watch this here. He's behind. He's just ahead of Fernandez. Yeah, high-sided and then went down. Hurt his left hand as well in that fall. Mindful of everything going on behind him, tried to get out of the way. It might have even burnt his hand actually on the exhaust pipe. As he just tried to get out of the way. So Geiser then testing the sand here. He's now up in a 16th place. The racetrack here, you know, it's obviously open for practice during the season, but you can see how in certain parts they've really built the dirt up, so the ground a lot deeper than it normally would be, a lot heavier. That's why it makes this Grand Prix probably the toughest on the calendar. And every rider says, despite how many laps you do around this racetrack as a training facility during the season, it never replicates the Grand Prix, which is always a tougher test physically. Certainly not as rough during the week as it is now. Van Horebeek and Fernandez, these two fighting over 6th place. Van Horebeek has found his way past the factory machine. What a ride this is from the Jerry man. Been on the podium twice in his home Grand Prix. Here's how he did it. Round the outside, got better drivers. Fernandez just fumbled his lines. Jerry man is through, up in the 6th. Vlaanderen doing his best to keep Seewer behind him, slowing everything down on what is an already slow part of the racetrack. That will bring Prado into play if they're not careful as well. That's one thing that neither of these riders wants. .4 seconds further back, Prado at the moment, or he was a moment ago. Watch this here. Seewer, that was a lap ago, wasn't it? 2 laps ago, where he just... Anyway, he's found his way through. He's moved up into 3rd place, so that must have been just after the finish line. Maybe he tripled his way in. I think it is, you know. Vlaanderen's not going to double. Seewer triples. And that is 3rd place back for the number 91. And then he goes down. Throws it away. Prado goes through. So too does Vlaanderen ahead of him. So an up and down race there. They can't believe it down in pit lane. So Seewer now all of a sudden in 5th place. A gift of points for Jorge Prado. And Van Horebeek, he is obviously up in the 6th, but 20 seconds down on Seewer. So just as he was getting himself comfortable out on track, just a little error that he could have done without. Jeremy Seewer. Needs to try and regroup, refocus, but this place, unforgiving, unrelentless, not an easy place to regain that composure and that rhythm. Once it starts going wrong, it's a difficult place to try and put things right. Jumping long there, needed to be a little bit more to the left, for instance. Here's Van Horebeek. Forato all over the back of him. So the big man, all of a sudden up to 7th. He's put Fernandez down to 8th place. And he's going after the Jerry man. Going to find a way through as well. And Forato does move into 6th place. What a ride this is from Forato, the 303. SM Action, US battery. Fernandez just being dropped by these two. Saw him going down hard in the qualifying race on Saturday. Alberto Forato, whilst in 11th, went back down to 27th, picked himself back up for 19th. But so far, with 9.5 minutes plus 2 to go, he's holding himself to account and putting up a pretty good fight here in that 6th position. Evans in 10th, just behind Bogus. Then Watson on the MRT Beta. Spies 12, Kulas 13, Osland 14, Pacharel 16. Didn't finish the qualifying race yesterday. Sorry, 15th place. Geiser 16. Meanwhile, your race leader, 6 seconds clear. He's just put the fastest Sector 1 time of the race, 31.04. About 0.6 quicker than Coldenhoff. About 1.5 seconds quicker than Vlaanderen. 1.6 seconds quicker than Prado, just in Sector 1 alone. All of a sudden, look, things looking good for Jorge Prado, the Red Bull Gas rider. He's bided his time, he's being patient, he's being consistent, not being the man in the hurry. And he's starting to reel in Vlaanderen in 3rd. That marker needs to be mindful, of course. But we've seen a couple of the leaders go by, and that's exactly what he is. He's mindful there. Realises a big enough gap to drop it behind Vlaanderen. Then he can get back off the race line here to allow Prado through. Right, Vlaanderen does triple this time. Gains a couple of bike lengths on Prado that time around. A 2:14.157, Prado 2:14.197. So nothing in it between them. Their gap's still hovering around 2 seconds. But it's Vlaanderen still hanging on for 3rd place at the moment. Going to be an interesting second race, isn't it? Because who's expending all that energy in this first race? Who's got a little bit left in the tank in race 2? Prado, a 4-time winner around this Lommel circuit. The most wins of anybody in the history of Grand Prix around this track. Got to be careful not to go too deep there, though, because that looks a little bit fragile, that outside line. Here's Coldenhoff, he's in 2nd place. So the Montreal Yamaha rider, he led, found his way to the front early. He's now 7.1 seconds behind Romain Febvre, but he has 22.5 seconds clear of Vlaanderen, but he's just recovering from a slight mistake, though. That one there, look, the one that cost him the lead. goggle strap a little bit lower than he would normally like, I guess. But anyway, 11 laps complete, 2:13.2 compared to the 2:11.1 of race leader Romain Febvre. There he is in the opposite direction. Gap now 8 seconds between Febvre and Coldenhoff. Vlaanderen third. He's still 2.5 seconds clear of Prado in yellow. Then Seewer just there in the background, losing touch after his mistake. Dropped him from third to fifth. Here he is. Just hear them on and off the gas, just trying to dance their way through. Up on the pegs, dancing around. Let the bike work between your legs. This is what makes motocross the toughest sport in the world. 2 30-minute plus 2 races in conditions like this. The mental game, the physical game, both have to be on point. Technique right at the top of the list as well. You can be the fastest rider in the world, anywhere in the world, but if you haven't got technique to get you through the sand, deep sand like this, and all of that makes no odds. Oh, just losing his footing there. Jeremy Seewer. Like he just caught a hole that just bounced his right leg off the foot peg. Yeah, just trying to hop his way into that corner. Hop and play over a couple of holes there, wheelie into there, clear more distance. Meanwhile, Van Horebeek runs wide. Fernandez seizes the opportunity, makes a move, and slips up into 7th place. A resurgent Ruben Fernandez then in the later stages of this race. Looked like he may have just broke his rhythm earlier on. Cost him a couple of positions, but he's fighting back with a vengeance. 7th place now for Fernandez. Here's Forato. Can he stay one step ahead of Ruben Fernandez? Judging by the way that Fernandez is closing in on him, the Italian is on borrowed time in 6th place. And he looks like he got the weight down in that turn on the run towards the start straight. Put himself under pressure, and now he's really feeling the heat from Fernandez. Goes defensive, Fernandez chucks it in around the outside. Fernandez picking up the pace. Van Horebeek not being dropped though. I think he may have just got a back marker inadvertently in his way. This is still a fantastic effort from Jeremy Van Horebeek there. Red shoulders, red boots on that standing construct Honda, following the HRC Honda. Where's Geiser, by the way? He's still up in, he's still 15th after his fall on the opening lap. Here is Geiser. Welcome to the beach, Tim. Got to start somewhere. He said in his piece at the start of the program that he was ready to come back to Lommel. Lommel, obviously a hard-packed track. Got to start somewhere, and he's also using this as a little bit of testing time as well to be ready for next year, which is important, testing in racing conditions. Of course, he wants to fight for wins and top 3s, top 5s, podiums. It's not going to happen overnight. This is all part of the rebuilding process. Fernandez has been down. Fernandez out of 6th place, 7th place. Watch this here. Oh, hard hit for him as well. Wow. So Forato 6, Van Horebeek 7, Watson up into 8th all of a sudden, Evans 9, Fernandez 10. See, we're getting closer to Prado, 2:15.3, 2:12.5, you bet he is. Top of your screen, here's Seewer. Yeah, still 2.7 seconds, but that lap time last time around might be an indication that Seewer just has a little bit of something up his sleeve. What's going to be the final 2 and a bit laps? Could have been a mistake from Prado, though, that cost him that time. We'll soon find out if the gap remains constant between these two. This is where he found his way past Prado in the qualifying race yesterday, and then the next turn here where he threw it away, and that's also the point there, the jump, where Fernandez fell, who's now in 11th place, so Bogus managed to sneak through as well. Good effort this from Ben Watson, circulating outside of the top 10 for much of the race, and all of a sudden the 919 is in 8th, about 2.8 seconds behind the Jerry man. Van Horebeek. 2 to go. Romain Febvre over the line, number 3. The Kawasaki Racing Team MXGP rider has built and consolidated his lead since he found his way past the 259 of Coldenhoff on lap 4 in the next left-hander when the Dutchman ran wide and opening the door. Right, Prado, Seewer over the line, 14 laps complete for these two. Prado still tripling in, so too Seewer. Gap between those two now, 1.8 seconds, good. Push this from the man in white. Is he going to run out of time, though? There's Vlaanderen just in the top left corner of your screen. And a mistake there from Prado. Just ran slightly off track. A couple of riders did that in the pre-practice sessions yesterday. So maybe just missing his marker. And all of a sudden, watch this here. Just collapses the berm. And that allows Seewer a route back in for 4th place, possibly. Again, even a slight mistake like that can take it out of you because you're not expecting it. Then you've got to then up the game again because you know you've got a rider breathing down your neck. But if you've never been to this place, it's worth putting it on your to-do list. Whether that's as a rider or as a spectator. Seewer just hitting hard there as well. Top of the shot. Because when you walk around it, you truly feel how heavy the sand is. See how big those holes are. Yet these guys, the top guys, make it look so very easy. Febvre looking over his shoulder because he's got 14 seconds in hand. Prado not so fortunate though, because he's got Seewer all over the back of him. And Seewer looking to make a move in this turn, but he has to pull out of the challenge. He knows not to risk everything with a lap to go. Trying everything, though, to find his way back past the Spaniard. Even difficult to pull a roll-off on the start straight because it's so deep and unpredictable and grabby. The sand is really grabby. So Prado's going to have to dig deep if he's to keep Seewer behind him. Vlaanderen looks like he's safe for now in 3rd place, as he eyes up what could be his first podium appearance for the season. Another race like this in race 2 will be perfect for him. Prado has reacted to the threat from behind. So one last push for the 61. You know what? The only saving grace these guys have had today is that it's not 28 degrees, 38 or 35 degrees like it was in Czech Republic a week ago, or even 25 degrees like it was yesterday in the qualifying race. It's still a grueling contest, though. Prado not close enough to challenge Vlaanderen for that third position. The Spaniard doing enough as Seewer rides his luck again in that left-hander, bouncing his way through. He was a passenger until he bounced off the top side of the berm. Watch this here, he just picks the front wheel up and then he's just offline, ever so slightly, somehow stays upright. Oh, Vlaanderen not safe in third. Prado did have something up his sleeve and he goes the wrong way to the back marker. Prado does move into that third place. Disappointment then for Vlaanderen on that final lap. Romain Febvre crosses the line. He wins race one at the toughest place of all. Pats his bike as he does so as well. 5 race wins now for the Frenchman. But what a fight back from Jorge Prado. Kept everybody guessing as he caught them napping. Prado takes third, and that's what it means to him as he crosses the line in that third position. Sets his fastest lap of the race on the final lap as well, a 2:09.4. Vlaanderen 2:14, Seewer 2:15. Gives you an indication as to how deep Prado was prepared to dig right there. Limits the point loss to 5 between him and Febvre. Gap now 96 points. There was a point where it was probably like 97 or 98. Riders coming in. Prado then getting up to third on the final lap. Vlaanderen demoted to fourth. Seewer fifth. We're still waiting for Forato to come through. He'll cross the line in sixth now. Van Horebeek 7. Evans 8. Watson will be 9. And Bogers will cross the line 10 because of that mistake from Fernandez earlier on. Spies will be... So Bogers 10, Fernandez 11, Spies 12, Patrell 13. We'll have Harry Koulas and Tim Geiser here out of the final turn for 15th place. But that looked painful when he pushed his hand on the exhaust pipe there, titanium pipes. Anyway, here's Lalo with Febvre.
Romain Febvre, your 5th race win of the season. Great move on Coldenhoff to profit from his mistake. You made Lommelwood look easy, but I bet it wasn't so.
Yeah, it's hard. Track is hard, but yeah, since yesterday I have a really good flow, really good speed, and yeah, I just feel I'm the best out there at the moment. So yeah, yeah, Coldenhoff, I think his plan was to make a gap at the beginning because he was attacking so much, but making mistakes, and yeah, I could pass him like this, and yeah, pull away and win the moto. So one more to go, and I will be really happy.
Good luck for the second race.
Looks like he's barely broken a sweat, Romain Febvre, as he cruises to victory in race one. Said he could see that Coldenhoff was possibly pushing too hard to make that gap and making mistakes in the process. And in the end, that was probably the Dutchman's downfall. Romain Febvre picking up 25 points in race one, his 5th victory of the season. And he pulls the gap down. What was 104 at the start of the weekend is now down to 96 when you take the qualifying race into consideration as well. Romain Febvre, your winner from race one. Give you the highlights of the race then, shall we? And then we'll give you the results. Good crowd here today, enjoying the better weather. MXGP race 1 kicked off then, and it was Jeremy Seewer who held the tightest line. The fast-starting Heroically around the outside as Benoit Paturel, number 6, ran off wide. Tim Geiser muscled his way down the inside of Febvre and Prado. He emerged in 5th position around the first few corners, but it was Seewer who led the way. Coldenhoff was 2nd. Febvre got himself into 3rd up the inside of Coulas. And then watch this here, Geiser off the side of the bike, and then watch as he goes to pick himself up, hand on the pipe. Wow, yeah, that was hot. Titanium header pipes, not the way forward when you put your hand on them. Febvre up into 2nd, split the 2 Yamahas on the opening lap. Then Coldenhoff made a mistake. Febvre ran him up the inside to take over the lead. Van Horebeek got the better of Ruben Fernandez temporarily. That put him up into 6th place. And then the battle for 3rd went the way of Jeremy Seewer up the inside. But then he made this mistake here, allowing Vlaanderen and Prado to go through. He picked himself back up in 5th. Van Horebeek then got caught napping by the hard-charging Forato. Fernandez resurgent then in the second half of the race, found his way past Van Horebeek. That put him up another position until this moment. Heavy hit, heavy landing. Fernandez coming home in 11th place. He fell from 6th. A mistake there for Jorge Prado. But then, despite that, he was able to pull clear of Seewer and find his way onto the rear wheel of Vlaanderen on the final lap and make the pass for 3rd. Vlaanderen crossed the line in 4th, but Romain Febvre victorious by more than 13 seconds in race 1 from Coldenhoff and Prado. Making it look easy as well in the process. Romain Febvre wins race 1 then, picking up the 25 points, reducing the gap to Prado, who was 3rd. Splitting Febvre and Prado was Coldenhoff in 2nd place. Calvin Vlaanderen will be kicking himself that he lost that 3rd on the final lap. And then we got Seewer, who was just up and down. Forato was next. And then we had Van Horebeek, Evans, Watson and Bogus rounding out the top 10. Then Fernandez, Spies, Paturel, Harry Coulas, Tim Geiser, Alvin Osland. Final points going to Jerry Havisto, Kevin Brumman, Petr Petrov and Tom Koch. Foxhole shots right at the start of the race. Jeremy Seewer for the night time this year, getting the better of a very fast starting Harry Coulas. Put on a brave face, Jeff Peters, the Fox dealer, handing him his black plates. Look at that, tied at the top, Seewer, because he was the last Foxhole shotter, goes ahead of Prado. Bit of downtime then before we see what happens later on, the concluding races, MX2 and MXGP races. Let's take a look at some of the best moments, shall we, before we disappear? Romain Febvre victorious in race 1 then. We're going to take a break. Join us in just over 1 hour's time when we return to the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders here at Lommel with the final 2 races of the day, starting with MX2 race 2. We'll see you then.